Ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? Once again, I'm Nev from Nev's Tech Bits, and today I want to do my annual Halloween Tech Talk to the Deceased, if possible at all. And around me, I have my spiritual guide. Hey guys, this is magic. It's all funny or none of it is, right? I got my box. Always have to have the box. Super special clock that can accelerate time. A crazy thingamajig that a wizard gave me, and a very meaningful to me harmonica. Now, once again, we're going to be checking out the Ghost Radar. Going through looking for words. I got the flux sensitivity at high. I'm not getting much now, but honestly, when I first turned it on, I was, maybe it's because they updated this, but I was actually getting accurate information that read off of each other. Now, before, something will pop up here, but not here. Now, the thing about Ghost Radar is it is supposed to tell you where something is and if something has talked to you. It's supposed to get information out of the air, but man, probably be good to check out the programming on that, right? Anyways, right next to them, I had two BlackBerry Q5s that are going to be checking out the magnetic field. Now, I'm not saying that they'll be perfectly accurate, but if something here and here was supposedly popping up saying one direction, and the direction of the EMF detector is also going up a little more over there, I would say that's a thing. That's something interesting to look in. So now we are just going to spend some time. Anyways, while we're waiting for this, I want to give you guys my theory about spooks, spirits, and all that fun stuff. So I remember way back in the day, I used to play with Ouija boards, and I found out some stuff only afterwards, after I played with them, that, for example, randomly, these things would just go M-A, M-A, and I didn't know why, and later I found out it was because animals were around. I retested it, and the exact same thing happened. I'm sure results will vary from person to person, but that constantly happened. I kept messing with Ouija boards, me and my buddy did, and we kind of found out that the type of person you are dictates the type of entities that you would reach. Meaning, it kind of seemed like whatever you're talking to was just part of your subconscious. Then again, at the same time, aren't we the ones that name and make the gods, not the other way around? For example, gods are really interested in having us love them. Gods always have to have us being the only one or one of the only ones that they worship, and it's really important that they worship. Why? Because worshiping gives them power. Like, let's go with the Neil Gaiman theory. Neil Gaiman made a lot of comic books, and he kind of really pressed the idea that a god was only as good as the faith that people had in him. Perhaps spirits are the same way. Perhaps they don't exist unless we believe they exist. I know somebody who knows a little bit of voodoo that said, no, none of this works unless you believe. But, okay, so this is where it gets interesting. If I believe and it works, then does my belief actually affect other things out there in life? I don't think it does, because, for example, Adam and Eve, the big thing that they lost was the willpower. I don't think that you have the ability to assess your will over somebody else and make them change their mind um, in a good way. Like, if you could do that, it wouldn't be a good thing, but I don't think you can. Like, you can assert your dominance over them, but you can't assert total power and control over anyone. Geez, even your kids. Like, if you think you can, then geez, you've never had kids, or you don't have a family life, or you have an abused family. I definitely think that if gods exist, there is a possibility that our faith is what they feed on. So let's say all this stuff does just come from our heads. Let's say all this ghost shenanigans and whatnot just does come from our head. What then? So what's his name? Really, shoot, what was his name? Houdini. Houdini said, ladies and gentlemen, if the afterlife exists, I will escape from it. I will escape from it, and I will come back to tell you guys. I'll tell you how it is. Every year they have a seance somewhere, at least they did, on October 31st. And he hasn't popped up yet. So it's got to make me wonder, are these individuals just sleeping? Are these individuals just sleeping? Now, let me keep going with theory here. So So before the Roman Catholics existed, the Roman Catholics were the first Christian. Before they existed, there was what we call as early Christian, and I believe they were also called Gnostic Christians. And their tales were handed down from generation to generation. I want to say it was about 300 years since Christ died before anyone started writing anything about him. And between those times, it was just stories being passed down from generation to generation. And I get kind of concerned about something like that, especially over like a game of telephone. Everybody knows Bible's been translated into infinity and beyond. But at what point do we really lose the meaning, the meaning of the words, the meaning of the words? Where the hell was I going with that? Nothing so far. Nothing so far. Yeah, so I forget where I was going with that. Sorry. It was the early Christians didn't believe that you went to heaven. The early Christians believe what the Jehovah's Witnesses believe about death, and is that everyone dies and we go to sleep, and we don't wake up until Jesus comes back. And then if Jesus comes back, this is the Christian way. If Jesus comes back, then those who are good will get resurrected, and those who won't will just sleep. I kind of have a problem with that. I think a lot of people did because you can live as a really shitty person. And there's a lot of people I know out there that would be okay if they just didn't wake up, and if they knew that they had one day to do whatever they wanted to do, and they could just go to sleep and never wake up, they'd be just fine with that. I'm worried that lets people get away with things. So I guess what I'm trying to say is the early Christians didn't believe in ghosts. They believed in demons and angels, and we can't transubstantiate. I'm pretty sure they believe that. It means people don't become angels. So if you ever talk to anything on a Ouija board or anything like that, it's actually a demon or something from another dimension. Okay, getting me on another tangent here. Things from other dimensions. There's people who do a lot of a certain kind of drug that will get them in touch with spirits. And I want to say MDA, but I know that's not it. I know that's not it. But with the same science that we use to prove black holes exist, we can also tell that up to, well, more than 11 dimensions exist. And we have 3 dimensions, right? If we had 4 dimensions, we would be able to see through time. Time is the fourth dimension. Fifth dimensions end up meaning alternate realities. Realities where you made slightly other choices and slightly other things happen. But in the fifth dimension, you could only go sorry, in the fifth dimension, you can only see a small subset of alternate realities. In the sixth dimension, you can see all alternate realities. In the seventh dimension, you can see all alternate realities and all time at the same time. And then the eighth, I don't even know. And the ninth, I don't understand. And the 10th is the neurons or something along that make up the universe. I'm going to shut up for 5 minutes and let this thing see if anything else wants to say something. That was me, by the way. Okay, so once I spaced them out a little bit and got the electromagnetic field figured out, just wondering, say, this one used to be high and that one was low, right? I'll have to go back and check the recording. I mean, like earlier. Now that I move them up, and again, maybe I put them within a different electromagnetic field just by moving them. One of the hardest parts of freaking doing YouTube videos is finding the right camera light. Jen. always think everyone hates me. I'm gonna take this down in about a minute. I like to. Yeah, like and subscribe if you like this kind of stuff, folks. Always appreciate it. And feel free to leave something in the comments if there is something I could add or improve to this. Just for fun, though. Always love doing this stuff on Halloween.